Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Believe, where we look to inspire, influence, and impact our audience, both those who check us out live as well as those who join us in the playback. My name is Cortland Jones, and I want to thank you. I'm an author, educator, and entrepreneur. Thank you for joining our show today. Our theme for today is a child with purpose. What happens to our children when they have a sense of mission, a sense of purpose? What does it do for them in their lives? That's what we're going to talk about today as we hear from my guest, my son, Isaiah Jones. Isaiah, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
And he's going to talk to us about what purpose has done for his life, having that belief and that sense of mission. So we look forward to you joining us on the other side of this break.
Residential Services Manager for Prestige Community Resources.
What our new facilities are respite centers. We're opening 2 in the city right now. Hopefully we'll expand to more. But respite centers are a place where people can come and get a little additional support with their mental health. Our one on Eastern Avenue is for men, and our one on Minnesota Avenue is for women. Our facilities are for all DC residents, especially focusing in on those in Ward 7 and 8. So they're really nice, and I'm excited for consumers to actually see them. What are the services that we're going to provide? Therapy, case management, medication management, all provided by professional staff, a licensed nurse practitioner, psychiatrists, sociologists, social workers, and then our paraprofessionals, our case managers. It's just a place where you can come and get the support that you need to work on your personal goals, as well as to get your mental health straight. Simple, single adult, 18 years of age or older, a DC resident. You need to have insurance, but if you don't have it, it's okay. Still come, we'll work on getting you insurance. Have to have a negative COVID test, a negative TB test, and be willing to work on your mental health. For more information about respite services, you can contact us at 202-796-5000 or hit us up on our website at www.prestigecommunityresources.org.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is Believe, where we look to inspire, influence, and impact our viewing and listening audience. Again, my name is Cortland Jones, author, educator, and entrepreneur. And today I have with me my guest, Isaiah Jones. Isaiah, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
And as I do with all my guests, Isaiah, the first question I ask, when you hear the word believe, what comes to your mind?
The word believe, when it comes to my mind, I often think of fully taking in what is said or what is thought and making it personal, like your belief, and you're putting full faith into whatever it is that you believe, honestly, or whatever you think that is what comes to your heart that you believe. That's what is often out of it, is faith and belief.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, because I've always believed we need to have a sense of belief in self, along with our belief in God, that helps drive and motivate action towards whatever we're seeking to accomplish. So my next question would be, how, when you look back to like your senior year in high school, what life was prior to that, and then in your senior year, how did belief play a role in helping you navigate through your senior year, and what was the result of that belief?
So prior to my senior year of high school, I often didn't know where life was going to go. I didn't necessarily have a sense of what I wanted to do. And once I knew what I wanted to do during my junior year summer, I believed in myself that I could publish my own book and that I could go to college, and that's what I ended up doing. I didn't get accepted into Bowie State, which is a college that I attend now, until after COVID. But during my whole senior year, I just kept speaking to myself, saying, I'm going to go to Bowie State University. I told my teachers, they would say, you got to have more eggs in your basket. But I just knew that that's where I wanted to be. And I believed that that was where I was going to be getting my education. That's where I was going to grow and be the man that I'm trying to be. And I just felt like Bowie State was where I was going to be headed. So, and speaking that into existence and believing in myself put me in the position where I'm in today.
No, I love that, because when I think back to that time in your life, you can see your own growth through having that sense of mission or sense of purpose. Today's theme is a child with purpose.
Right.
So what was the purpose that came from your belief? You mentioned your junior year. What did that sense of purpose or belief result in? And tell us more about what has happened since having that sense of purpose.
First, I'm going to start with the purpose. I know having a purpose for me was important because it also gave me the ability to take every day seriously, that I was trying to publish my book. I had to be purposeful in that action, because not doing the things that I needed to do would have resulted in me not publishing the book at the time that I did. So being purposeful and being focused enough to do school, have fun, and also be an adult and be an adult, like coming through and out of high school and doing the things which are, going for my goals and my dreams. Just finishing that book was very impactful for me and showed me that I can do what I wanted to do. I could do the things that I believed I could do. And belief played a big part, because not only did I believe that I would be going to Bowie State and that I could publish my own book, I also believed that I could do other things such as public speaking and gaining a lifestyle that would allow me to reach back to youth and often speak well into their lives in a point in time where I needed it most myself. So believing in myself has led to me publishing my own book, having multiple speaking engagements. Also just going to college because I believed that I would be there, and believing in myself will impact my future, because I'm just going to be the guy that I believe I want to be, and that's going to be a great person, a great community activist, somebody that's going to be impactful in the world. And if I believe that I can do that, which I've shown myself I can be who I believed in myself to be, then I know I can do that in the future.
No, I love that, because one of the things that I've talked to both of my children about, particularly Isaiah as it relates to publishing the book, when I told him when he was younger and he was hungry, I could go to the refrigerator and get him something. When he wanted a toy, I could go to the store and get him a toy that he could play with. But now he has goals like playing on the basketball team or publishing a book or wanting to go to college. And I said to him, Isaiah, I can't go get those things for you. So you now have to learn how to go get what it is that you want. And this was about teaching him about having the right mindset in order to achieve the goals that he desires in his life. And I know you remember me telling you that. Mm-hmm. But let's talk specifically now about your book. So you published a book. Tell us about the name of the book. Tell us about why you wrote it and what you hope readers get from reading the book.
So the name of the book is Red, Yellow, Green: Insights on Dating for Teens. And I wrote the book because I wanted my own style of a book that I read before dating that my parents wanted me to read, called Dateable. I wanted to write my own style and write in a way where I encourage youth to talk to their parents while also giving them words of wisdom and also inspiring them to be more confident and self-improving during their high school years and not being so caught up in dating, but really taking the time to develop yourself and develop a relationship with your parents, because that's important. That's one thing I didn't do, or I didn't take seriously. And I felt after I read the book that they wanted me to read was where our relationship with my mom and my dad both definitely grew, because I wasn't doing what they wanted me to do. It was never going to be like, no parent would want their kid not to do what they would want them to do. Not in a way where it's controlling, but just because parents more times than not have the best interests for their kid. So they wanted me to develop myself, and I wasn't taking it seriously. So when I did, my relationship with them grew. And because I wrote the book, I felt that was important to teach other kids by listening. Like, reading it from another kid would definitely, I feel, help someone else be like, yeah, I should take it seriously, I should take what they're saying to heart, because they do mean well. And anybody that does read the book, I would want them to read it in a lens where it's, this person is watching out for me and cares about my path as well, because I am a youth enthusiast. Like, I want all youth to do well. So if I'm writing in a way that speaks to youth, I would want them to get the message and take it to heart and take it seriously, because I feel it's important that all youth should be able to grow by themselves and then branch out into the world with their parents and always have help by their side.
So the book is about teen dating. Is the book encouraging teen dating? Like, if you read this book, you'll be ready to date, or is it something else?
It's not encouraging teen dating. It's encouraging development with your parents. Like, parental development and parental relationship is very important, and not having that or developing that will hinder your growth as a child, because you're going to need your parents. It's always important to have your parents with you and always just be able to go back and talk to them, because I still do that till this day. Even as a 20-year-old, I still talk to my mom and my dad about things that I need help with, not because I can't do it on my own or because I'm not functioning well as an adult. I just trust my parents and know that I have a relationship with them where I can talk to them. And I feel like everybody should have that type of interaction with their parents. And if you're young and you're watching this, I believe it's important that you do have that interaction with your parents, because your parents want to be there for you.
So what's one word of advice you would give to a teen who believes they're ready to date, but they're teenagers, they're in middle school, maybe early high school? Based on this book that you wrote, what would you say to a teen who just believes they should be dating, they're ready to date?
I would say you're not ready, because I believe the same thing, just because I felt like I was growing up and everybody else was doing it, and I believe I should be able to do it. But that's not the best way to go about it. Even if you believe in something, it shouldn't be with ignorance. Like, it should be with wisdom. And if you believe in it, you should be able to speak your mind about it and be able to really agree with others that are in your circle. So if your parents are in your circle and they're saying to you, I don't believe that you should be dating right now, they're more than likely saying that with wisdom in mind, instead of just letting you do what you want to do, because parents know what doing what you want leads to, and they have your best interest in heart, so they wouldn't let you do what you want to do.
So what does the red in red, yellow, green stand for?
Like, stop and don't pursue dating if you don't really know what that looks like. Like, dating to a kid and dating to a young adult are two different things. And I believe kids look at young adults dating like a middle schooler would look at a high schooler dating and be like, I want to do that. But you don't know what that looks like, because you're not at that age of development yet. And I believe you shouldn't want to date for the simple fact that other people are dating. You should want to date because you know in your mind what dating looks like to you and how you could succeed in dating without having a whole lot of other things going on where you're messing yourself up or you're distracted. Like, you need to be focused even if you are dating, because if the dating relationship doesn't work, you still need to be able to have your life.
All right. So what does the yellow light stand for? If you could summarize it in a sentence or two, what does yellow light mean?
Yellow light means wait it out. Just be cautious. Don't try and go. Just be patient and wait.
And in a sentence or two, what does green light mean? Like, why should I now believe it's okay to date or be ready to date?
The green light in my book is where it is. It's a green light because you have taken the time to stop and be patient and read and have thought. And you're taking time before you just do the action, which is important. I believe that's not a skill that most middle schoolers know how to do, and anybody younger than a high schooler does not know how to fully think and sit and process before doing another action. You don't want to base anything off of emotion. You want to do it based on thought and wisdom.
So one of the things that Isaiah and I have discussed in his own personal journey as it relates to dating is the recognition that if you don't have a car, if you don't have income, and you don't have your parents' support, you're not at a place where you can date. So, you know, the things that we call dating, if we understand what dating actually is, that's not something we can do until we have the self-sustaining ability through transportation and income to actually date. And so teenagers are better off having the support of their parents in this process of teen dating. And without the approval, it just becomes more difficult. So Teen Dating, Red, Yellow, Green, Insights on Dating for Teens really is a book to encourage the relationship between children and parents to talk so they can learn more about the subject and be informed and empowered. So on the other side of the break, we're going to talk more to Isaiah to hear about how his life is going. Thank you for tuning in. This is Believe, ladies and gentlemen. See you on the other side.
It is key that you mind your mental health.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing this week? Hi.
Use the 5 keys to mental movement.
Really monumental week for me. I realized that I was not being myself.
Reaching out.
Be positive attitude person self, like you guys know me to be.
Staying upbeat.
And give back to that happy, cheery self you guys of me.
This week's been kind of
being
stressful,
creative.
All of the workload that we have on online learning. So I've been trying to use different platforms and different websites to help ease my mind and ease my stress.
And what about you, Marjorie?
Well, you guys know me. I just love to work with others and serve them.
Serving others.
Realize that when I serve others, my mind is off of myself.
That's right. And don't forget, self-care is key.
Self-care.
All right. So see you guys next week.
Right.
Bye.
Your mind matters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us and welcome back. Again, this is Believe. My name is Cortland Jones, where we look to inspire, influence, and impact those who are joining us live and checking out the playback. And today I have with me my special guest, my son, Isaiah Jones. And he has published a book. It's been a year now since it's been released, Red, Yellow, Green, Insights on Dating for Teens. And on the first half of the broadcast, if you missed it, he had the opportunity to share how his own belief in self and having that sense of mission and having goals kind of led him to write and publish his first book, released by J Media Publishing. Shout out to J Media Publishing, Dion and Christine Johnson, a family-owned book publishing business who supported him in his journey. Isaiah, we were talking about your thoughts about why a middle school or early high school child may not necessarily be ready to date. We talked about what the red light means. For those who may have missed the first half of the interview, in 1 or 2 sentences, simply explain what the red light means in your book.
So the red light in my book means to stop and to not proceed forward with trying to date or thinking you can do it by yourself, because you're not going to be able to do it.
And so I'm hearing from that you believe the middle school or even high school child should have some information. They should be informed about what they're getting ready to get into. And if they're not informed, you're saying pump your brakes.
Yes, I believe anybody who is trying to date should be informed, even on a small level, of what that means. And if you're a young teenager, you need to be talking to your parents about what dating is, because they know what that looks like.
And so talk to us again in a few sentences, explain what yellow light means.
So the yellow light is basically taking time to think and talk to your parents and get their beliefs about dating, get the wisdom about dating, and kind of cultivate your own style of how you want to go about bonding with your parents and developing yourself before you get into dating.
So a young person hearing this may be thinking, or has actually experienced, a parent who doesn't want to talk about dating at all. Don't even come to me with that. You're not going to do it. How do they get informed if they can't talk to their parents?
If they can't talk to their parents about dating, I would suggest go to a trusted adult in your life to talk about dating, somebody you feel comfortable with, somebody that has your best interest in heart and not trying to just tell you to do something that will not benefit you. And also to pick up my book, because I'm being transparent and honest in a way where I'm connecting with the teen about dating and being upfront about what that looks like at that age.
Because you admit in the book you didn't heed your parents' advice. You actually went and started dating, even though they didn't approve of it. So for the teen that's listening, and I ain't got time to talk to my parents, I'm just going to date. What would you say to that child?
Unless you feel comfortable with experiencing a lot of unhealthy attachments and a lot of trauma at an earlier age than you really need to. If that's what you want to do, I wouldn't suggest it. I'm not going to say do what you want to do, because that's the whole reason why I wrote the book. I don't want you to do what you want to do because you don't really know better. Just seek guidance and seek wisdom and seek your parents, because they love you and they want the best for you. Don't try and do everything on your own and by yourself, because it's not going to work.
All right. So, you know, my children are now young adults. Isaiah's 19. And they're at a point now, I simply say to them, you've already lived a life where you did what you wanted to do. And you can see why God would want you to do what he wants you to do. You can see the difference in those two types of lives. So my thing for my children, and specifically for Isaiah, since he's the one on the show, pay attention to your decision making, what you're doing. Like, learn from your mistakes, because all wisdom doesn't have to come from mistakes. There is wisdom that can help us not make mistakes if we heed it. So then we know that children are going to do what they're going to do. Teens are going to do what they're going to do. But then there's the benefit to the teen who heeds wisdom, who actually listens to their parents' advice. And so how do I go from yellow light to green light? Talk to me in a few sentences about what green light means. And for the teen or young adult who's listening to the show, help them understand moving from yellow light to green light.
Okay, so yellow light to green light does not mean go ahead and date. That's not what that means. And if you have read the book, or if you are going to read the book, or if you're reading it now, it does not mean, okay, I'm at a yellow light, I'm going to go to green light and start dating people. That's not what that's about. Green light is basically going ahead with the new thought, the new thinking, go ahead with the new wisdom, go ahead with the new goals that you have for yourself, the new self, the new, basically the new you. Before, you wanted to do everything by yourself and do what you wanted to do, but now you've talked about it, you've thought about it, you've sat and just embraced what it looks like. This is dating, of course, and you've talked to your parents about it, and now you go ahead in life and you talk to your parents about the things that you want to do, and you talk to other people, you get wisdom. You don't just do everything based off emotion. You do it with careful thought. And that's what the green light means. That's what I mean when I say green light. Not just go and be crazy because that's what you want to do, but go and do this in a wise way.
So what I'm hearing, the green light, like I should only move forward to consider dating others if I know I have my parents' support, if we've actually talked about it and established open lines of communication.
Right.
And I'm also informed about what dating is.
Right.
What are some of the challenges? Because you've done it. You've actually done it without your parents'
Yeah.
support, and you've done it with your parents' support. Help the young person understand one distinct difference between doing it on your own and having your parents' support. What do you notice about it?
The word itself, like I notice support. My support is different when I'm trying to do it by myself and when I have my parents with me there. I'm talking to them about the things that I'm going through. I'm actually getting emotional help, emotional support from my mom and my dad when I'm going through relationships or when I've gone through relationships after I talk to them about being in relationships. Before then, I was taking on all of this baggage by myself. I was taking in all these emotions. It's not healthy. It's more healthy to do it with people who actually support you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. It's not going to work.
When Isaiah talked to me specifically about dating, the first thing I told him was the reason why I wouldn't encourage it for a middle school child in particular, because he was middle school at the age, is because of the emotion. The emotion that you bring to the table that you currently don't have control over, and the emotion the other person brings to the table that as a teen they don't have control over either. And without the awareness of that, plus how to manage it, there's going to be more trauma involved in the dating experience than the actual experience that you're thinking is going to occur by dating. Because teenagers in particular, that's how they deal with their world, through their emotions. And so I said to Isaiah, like, imagine for yourself what it's like to deal with your own emotion. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is that? And he said like a 7 or 8. I said, okay, now imagine having to deal with someone else's emotion on top of yours. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think that would be like? And what was your answer, or do you remember your answer at the time?
Probably I hope it is a 10.
A 10.
That's what it is now.
Can you imagine trying to deal with your emotion and someone else's emotion alone? And that's just one aspect of being in a relationship. So you already on a 10 just dealing with the person's emotion. And so from the subject of teen dating, Isaiah, what's one thing you want to leave with a teen who's checking out this show, or someone in high school? What's one thing you want to leave with them about the subject of dating? In a few sentences, what do you want to say to that person?
I would say not only develop yourself, but get your parents' help. I say develop yourself because it's always important for you to develop and grow, and also have your parents help because they will have wisdom in the things that you will come across in life. It's always important to talk to them about things that you need help with.
So on the subject of a child with purpose, I've watched my son grow. I decided as he became a young adult, late high school, going into college, it was important that he demonstrated purpose, having a sense of mission, learning how to be a critical thinker and decision maker, learning how to go after what it was he said that he wanted. And then along the way, giving him the insight, giving him information and encouragement so that he could work towards those goals. And what it's done for him, he's become a better time manager, and he's learning how to do the things that lead to the fulfillment, right, that you want to see out of your own life. And so we have to learn how to walk alongside our children and give them the tools and the keys so they can have that sense of mission and purpose to pursue what they're trying to go after. This is Believe, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully something was shared to encourage you in your role as a parent, as a young adult, as a teen. We look to inspire, influence, and believe. Take care, and God bless.